Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 5 of 5 Deep, a group of podcasters who get together each week to achieve their goals using accountability. Good evening, gentlemen. It's just 3 of us. We're 3 deep at the moment, but hopefully Harmony will turn up in a minute. And Lee. Harmony's on holiday currently in Florida, so she'll probably just pop up in a second. And honestly, Lee's probably falling asleep in front of the fire. But we got Rodney and we got Howard here. Good evening, Rodney.
What up? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Or should we say good afternoon? Because where you are, what is it, about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon stateside?
It's 4.
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock.
10.
Have we talked about whereabouts in the States you are? I mean, obviously I know where you are, but, you know, tell the world about whereabouts in America you are.
Huh?
Tell the world whereabouts in America you are. They're looking through your curtain.
I'm like those old wrestlers. I'm from parts unknown.
The old wrestlers. Can you remember when wrestling was WWF and they got sued, or they got tried to be sued by the World? What was it? The World? I can't even say it. I'm like Jonathan Ross. The World Life Federation Fund, wasn't it?
Somebody.
World Life.
What is it? World Life. The World Life. John, do you know who Jonathan Ross is?
No.
He's a chat host over here in the UK, and he can't say his R's. And he's called Jonathan Ross, and he says Jonathan Woss. He says the R's with a W, and it's easily done at times. It's easily done. So you're over in Connecticut, is that right, Rodney? Connecticut. What's it like in Connecticut then? What's the weather doing over in Connecticut?
It's cold, and then it's cold again, and then right now it's cold
and cold again.
Now, it's been raining like the icy rain, and it's a little bit of snow. Cold, and one day was like really nice out, and then like the next morning, but they said the temperatures are going to drop.
Right. So, cool. Yeah.
This is just, I guess, like this whole area, like the East Coast, New England and stuff like that. Around this time, winter is pretty cold out.
And then we go from one extreme to the country to Howard. Good evening, Howard. And you're over in Texas.
That's correct. Yes.
And you've been having a bit of cold weather over there occasionally. I mean, last week when we spoke, it was about 5 degrees, wasn't it? You was getting a bit concerned because there's a little bit of ice appearing on the roads, and they were going to have to, take you off the roads, isn't it?
Oh yeah, they shut everything down with just a little bit of ice.
Did they? Yeah, that's a little bit like that in the UK. When we get a little bit of snow, the whole country goes to standstill. And when I went over to Finland, you've got lorries and buses caning around in the snow, and it's just like over here, they'd be like, smashing into lampposts and walls and everything. But I suppose it's a bit like that over your way. Did you get any snow plows and stuff like that in Texas?
No snow plows.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
So what do they do to prepare for when it does? Well, when it does snow, what do they do?
They get big ass trucks to put salt and sand on the road, and that's about it.
Yeah, they do all of that. You'll see like the city or the state trucks and stuff like loading up and preparing when there's a snowstorm coming. They plowing the sand. It's one of the things that happens when you're out there cleaning your front yard or your driveway. They'll come by and just plow it all right back in front of you. All that hard work you did.
I can remember when I used to ride a motorbike. You'd be riding a motorbike at night time, caning through the lanes in the winter, and all of a sudden there'll be a lorry coming the other way, and it'd be the gritter lorry, and there'll be lights flashing on the top. You're like, shit, gritter, and all of a sudden it'd be throwing salt at you and in your eyes, and it used to sting like buggery,
Now, what is that called? A what?
A gritter lorry. That's what we call them over here. Yeah, but there you are. Anyway, well, it's nice to have you join us, guys. Like I say, Lee might be here in a minute. Harmony, I dare say she'll pop in at some time. But it's the end of the month. It's February. So we're going to be talking about February's goals on this episode. We're going to be talking about perhaps setting some goals for March. And then we'll talk about comfort zones. I think that's a good thing to talk about tonight, perhaps. So, Rodney, what was the goal that you set for February? Can you remember way back at the beginning of February? I mean, February's an awkward month because we've only got 28 days. And to be honest with you, the month's shot by. You know, I was expecting another week. The month has shot by. So it's a short month this month. But what was your goal that you set for February? And let's talk about that for a minute.
It was to work out 6 days a week, which I started off very strong the first week. And then did I share with you guys last week? I was saying like I just, my balance was off. I was working a lot and doing family things, and I just didn't take the time for myself. So it went down to like 3 days a week. So I didn't complete. Like, I was strong in that first week though. Killed.
Well, think of it this way, mate. You know where you went wrong, and the thing is, it's like, just don't be too hard on yourself because you've done more than what you would normally do. So next month, look at it and say, right, okay, how did I do in February? How can I grow on that next month?
Yeah, I definitely know what I did. But it took me like to look back, and while I was struggling, it took me to kind of look back, and I was like, oh, that's what it is. I just felt off, and just wasn't taking that time for myself. I wasn't like cutting out a spot of time for myself and saying this, okay, I know what I got going on today, but from 3 to 4, that's just going to be me, getting in a workout or something like that. That's what I needed to do. So
I find that February's a bit of a funny month anyway for exercise because, January's that month where everybody gives it beans. The New Year's resolutions come in and everybody's, really, really working hard to achieve their goals. And I generally find that February is the month where the people drop out of exercise. They've done a month of exercise and you start to see the gym emptier than any in February, I find, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely it empties out by February, but I was fortunate enough that I've been lazy for a couple of years now. So I wasn't part of that like January wave getting it in.
How about you, Howard? What was your goal for February? Can you remember?
Yes, it was to finalize, well, I guess to say the first major draft of the pre-workout and to start shopping for manufacturers. So finished the formula, and then now I've been just reaching out to manufacturers, trying to get somebody on the phone, etc.
How's that going then? Is that an easy task?
It depends, because the manufacturers I'm looking for, I'm looking for specific like certifications that they have, and the ones I've reached out to so far, I have the feeling that they're for large companies, companies that make millions of dollars. And so I'm kind of thinking, okay, are they going to give me the time of day? So, but we'll see. It never hurts to ask. So I'll just keep reaching out, to different ones. So I have a whole big list of them.
It sounds a difficult task. Because it's like anything I find that, you've got to start somewhere, but a lot of these businesses only want to start with people that are at the top. And how do you get to the top if you can't start? And, it's a whole difficult thing, that whole process, isn't it?
It is. Like I was saying, that I'm looking for ones with specific certification, at least. And there are some that are manufacturers who are smaller and they don't have the certifications. I could go with them pretty easily, but to me, this is different because it's not like I'm creating a t-shirt where it's like, okay, if I go with the cheap supplier, yeah, the t-shirt's cheap material, but I can charge less and people would, okay, it's a cheap t-shirt, but this is something that people are going to be consuming. And so I want to make sure that the manufacturer I go with is top notch, because then I can be in big trouble, with the federal government if everything's not snuff.
Yeah, and you said, I think on previous episodes that that your advice that you was given was to do a pre-workout first and not to do a protein powder. Why is that then? Why is it more beneficial to have a pre-workout recipe rather than a protein powder?
A couple of reasons I was provided is, one, pre-workouts are much more popular these days. Everybody wants to take a pre-workout, get the stimulant. I say everybody, but that's kind of in quotes, everybody. Another reason is margins. So protein powder, most like mine, it's 1 pound bag, but most companies they'll sell it like in 2 pound bags or bottles or more. And so it's heavier to ship them. It can be more, so you get better margins, meaning more profit margins. You get more money for what you're selling it for. Also with pre-workout, you can change the formula. So, if this particular ingredient is really, really expensive at, whatever amount you have in there, you can lower it and put just a little bit in there. And so it lowers your cost. And you can do that with all the ingredients. So people can kind of change the formula up to make the cost work.
And what sort of stuff do they put in these pre-workouts then? What do they normally fill it with?
Well, there's a wide array of ingredients. I mean, most of it's usually have caffeine in it, some sort of caffeine, which is your stimulant. Although caffeine is very expensive now because of all the crap going on in the world. Usually they'll have some sort of like pump. You get that pump when you lift weights. So it'll be something like citrulline. And for example, that's probably like the most popular one that I know of. That's an amino acid. Some put nootropics in it. So you can have anywhere from lion's mane to another one is a form of choline, which is, I did an episode on that a couple of months ago at least. And I'm actually preparing to do another episode on the podcast on that. They'll put, there's just a laundry list of different ingredients you can put in there. And then, companies will put a mixture of this, a little bit of that to kind of change up, make it different from what other companies are doing.
Right. Okay.
It just depends on what you want the pre-workout to do. Some don't have stimulants in it at all. The one I use doesn't have stimulants in it.
Tomorrow, I don't know if you have this in America, but tomorrow is Shrove Tuesday. Do you have that? Pancake Day?
What is a Shrove's Tuesday?
I don't know exactly what it is. It's what we call Pancake Day. And I think it's like the first official day of Lent or something like that. I'll have to do some research on it. But what we do is we make pancakes over here in the UK, and they call it Pancake Day, Shrove Tuesday. And they just make pancakes. And I was asking if you had that in the States, because that would be a perfect opportunity for you for doing a bit of publicity. I can't get my words out tonight. A free bit of publicity, right? You could make protein pancakes, couldn't you?
I could indeed. Yeah, I bought some rolled oats, and you can use those to help make your protein pancakes as well. Put those in the blender and cook them. I know there's an International Pancake Day, but I don't know if that's tomorrow or not. But it's always a good day for pancakes, unless you're Rodney and you're on a keto diet. Then you got to use like egg whites or something instead of flour or something like that.
Almond flour.
Almond flour, yes, correct. Yeah.
Coconut flour.
I must admit, I'm not a huge lover of pancakes, to be honest with you. I think it's more of an American thing than over in the UK. For me, that sort of battery texture, it plays havoc on me. I don't like it too much, to be honest with you. It's a bit stodgy for me.
You like
British?
Sorry, what are you saying?
You like regular cake?
Regular cake? What the hell's regular cake? Just cake? Is that what
you said, as opposed to pancakes?
Well, I like cake, but the mixture for pancakes and cakes are totally different, aren't they? Well, I suppose it's not really, is it? It's egg, flowers. I don't know. But anyway.
Chocolate cake.
I can't believe we're like 13 minutes into episode 5 and Howard hasn't tried, giving a bit of a show promotion out at all yet. Have you not got anything there at all, Howard?
Let me see. Just a second here.
Speak of the devil. And it's
he's a little
wow, look what I have here. It just so happens that I have some Howard's Blend plant-based protein powder still in stock, ready to purchase. To anybody out there looking for some plant-based protein, 20 grams per scoop. You can make pancakes with them, throw them in your oatmeal, just have a regular shake with it, and put whatever ingredients you want in there, depending on what your macros are in your diet.
Fantastic.
If you're looking to get some, hit me up on Instagram at Howard's Blend. For all you good-looking ladies out there, I might give you a discount as well.
Is that it? Have you finished?
Did you say
it, sir?
Well, while you're doing a bit of promotion there, you may as well stand up there with that fine sweatshirt on and give your friend a bit of promotion there as well, Howard.
I will give him. Well, I got to kind of lean down or else I'll be out of the camera because I'm just so tall. I'm like Rodney's height there, you know.
What does it say on your sweater?
This is the Hussein Abdullah H.A. Holmes Notorious Bear sweatshirt.
Sweet. That's a nice jumper.
Hit him up on Instagram at H.A. Holmes US. Good guy.
You want to hook up with him there, Rodney?
Yeah, man, we talked a little bit behind the scenes. We had a brief exchange. So definitely something if I'm looking to get out that way. You know, I know there's a contact out there. So
sweet. Well, my goal for February was to lose some weight. I wanted to get down to 15 stone. And I've managed to get down. It's been a bit of a funny month in the sense that I lost weight, I put on weight, I lost weight, and now again this week I've lost weight. So I've got down to 15 stone 3 pounds. So I think had it have been a bit of a longer month, like most months, then I would have reached my 15 stone target. So I'm 3 pounds off my target. I'm gonna carry on rocking and rolling from that, but I'm feeling really good in myself, to be honest at the minute, guys. I'm able to fit into the clothes that I haven't fitted in for a long time, and these are clothes that I normally are fitting into in the summer. So I mean, I don't know what you guys are like, but I'm like a grizzly bear in the winter. I like go into hibernation mode. And put on a bit of the few extra pounds and then lose them in the summer. So for me to be at this stage now in the winter is rock and roll.
And you're feeling good too. That's the most important thing. Right?
I am. Yeah, I am feeling good. I'm getting around my post round, and you know I'm running around and doing. I've been doing a little bit of running and feeling good for it, you know. And this weekend I went out for a walk. I'd done a bivvy camp. Did you see the posts that I put up on Instagram at all?
Yeah, I did see you out there holding signs in the lot.
Yeah, well, it was our group has attempted to break a world record, and I thought that it had been a record that had already been set, but it hasn't. We are in the process of, you know, setting a new world record, and the whole principle was they were trying to get as many people out underneath the stars bivvy camping. Do you know what bivvy camping is? Well, it's just basically camping underneath the stars without a tent. So you would have like a sleeping bag, and they've got a bivvy bag. So it's just basically like a waterproof bag that the forces use, the military use to go over your sleeping bag to protect it. So if it rains, it's just a go. So then they call it a bivvy bag. So it was a bivvy camp. So there was about 3,500 of us on our Facebook page, and we will find out, I think tomorrow, how many people actually did it. But there was loads and loads of people from all over the country, from all over the world actually. South Africa, there was people all over the place that camping underneath the stars on Saturday night. And we'll talk a little bit about comfort zones in a minute, but that was something that was out of my comfort zone because I always go out camping in a tent. But to actually being outdoors in winter here in the UK in a tent, not in a tent, it was quite an achievement. I was quite proud that we'd done it, to be honest with you, because it was right on the cliff tops here in a place called Rame, which is the Ramehead Peninsula down on the south coast. So, it was blowing a hoolie. The wind was blowing in, and we was basically, me and mate George was just in our sleeping bags right on the coast there. But it was really, really enjoyable. The stars and that was absolutely amazing.
There's a lot of wildlife out there.
Yeah, there was loads, because where we actually was we was down off the path. Me and him jumped over the hedge, over a fence, went through like some bracken, some big, bracken that was up to your shoulders, ripping you to shreds, all thistles and thorns and all that sort of stuff. And we went down all through this lot, and then we got down to the bottom where nobody ever goes, so that we knew that we was going to be out of the way of anybody. And we come across a huge clearing, and we climbed up to the top of this clearing, and it was absolutely full of deer. There was loads of them. There was about 150 deer all there, because it's rutting season at the moment, so they're all mating and stuff like that. But there was absolutely loads of them, and wild ponies and all that sort of stuff. And it was quite it was really nice to see, because you never ever see that amount of deer in one place. It was quite good,
If you can.
It does sound like fun.
Yeah. Are you into camping, Howard?
No.
No.
It just sounds like fun. I didn't say I would do it.
Well, because you're a bit of an outdoorsy sort of guy, aren't you? I mean, I thought that might have tickled your fancy, going out camping, something like that, going up on the trails, up on the mountains, doing a bit of camping.
I'll go run. It sounds like a cool place to run. There's except there's rocks everywhere, but I'm afraid of camping. And I guess this goes into the comfort zones. I'm always afraid I'm going to get bit and then get rabies.
Yeah.
And then not know it. And then once you get the symptoms, that's it. That's all she wrote.
Well, I mean, I suppose it's a little bit different to where you are, to where we are, because I mean, there's no real predator out there that we've got that could rip us to shreds. But where you are, there's quite a lot of stuff out there that would eat you, I suppose, Howard, isn't there?
There's 2-legged and 4-legged cougars out here.
Sounds interesting.
If only I could be attacked by a 2-legged cougar, then.
So wait a minute now. So how old are you? Huh? How old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
Oh, 45.
Okay, so now, cougar would technically have to be how many years older than you?
Isn't it 10 years?
It's 10?
Beggars can't be choosers, man. It's like.
So this cougar will be 55, Howard. That's coming up to retirement age, mate.
When you're all your glands and your innards are all drying up, it's like, hey, you take it where you can get it, literally.
You just need a release.
Anyway, what sort of goals are you going to be setting for March then, Rodney? Is it going to be a fitness one again, or are you looking at monetary goals or your business? What are you going to be aiming for in March?
Yeah, fitness and money and monetary is definitely going to be every month. I don't know if I'll set specific ones for each month, but that's definitely going to be ongoing because fitness is just basically going to be my lifestyle. So yeah. I'm going to get back to having a fit lifestyle. And of course, with the real estate, I'm always looking. We're waiting on answers for a couple of offers we put in now. Just waiting. If I could give something every month, then and it doesn't affect me, pockets, then I would do something every month. So those things are always going to be there. And then I have a research that I have to get done by the end of this month for my EMR, for my emergency medical response certification. So I have to research, and it's 18 hours. So I definitely got to get that done by the 31st. Is my certification expires on the 31st of March. So
right. Sweet. How about you then, Howard? What goals have you set yourself for March?
The big goal is to find a manufacturer. That gives me the month to go through the list and then see if I can find somebody to work with. That's the big goal.
Are you, how are you going to fund this then? I mean, is this something that you've looked at all?
It's a good question. Well, it just depends on how much it is.
Mm.
I've got a good amount of money stored away that I could use to fund the first run. That's one option. And then I mentioned it in the other episodes I think our first 5 Deep check-in that, maybe I could try to get a bank loan. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to get stuck getting loans, at least at this point in the journey, but that's an option. And then once I find a manufacturer, then, maybe I could then start promoting it and maybe people want to pre-order it. But, by then I want to know at least what's going to be in it. And I would have to find a manufacturer and then they would have to quote me the price for whatever it is. And then I can actually promote it because then I can say, okay, this is what's going to be in it. And I'm also going to have to build a website because howardsblend.com is no longer up. The subscription is over. So I got to build another website then for the product as well.
Do you think in 2022, and I'm going to ask both of you guys this, do you think in 2022 you actually need a website?
It depends. I guess I'm looking at it in terms of selling an actual consumer goods, yeah, you want to have a website for people to go and they want to take a look at it, especially like with the supplement. They want to look at the supplement facts. It's more and more consumers are into that. They're actually reading what's in the product now, which is a good thing. And I think you need it. Yeah. At least to sell a product.
But then can't you sell your product on Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah, absolutely you can. Yeah. They have the Instagram marketplace, whatever it's called, or Facebook marketplace. Absolutely. You can do it there as well. I just think maybe this is old thinking and this goes into your first impressions as well from the last week, is that people want to go to a website to take a look at it, and then rightly or wrongly, they're going to judge the business as well on how nice the website looks. I mean, if it looks kind of cheaply put together, for lack of a better term, then they may not want to buy the product unless they know who you are. So maybe the tide is turning to where you don't need an actual website anymore. But to me, I think, if you're going to sell something, you need a website.
What do you think, Rodney?
Yeah, I think it kind of legitimizes people to a certain demographic. Them being able to click on something and see the website and see it's comprehensive gives them a little bit of just like comfort that this is a real thing, of confidence that they're going to buy the product. Now we know that anybody can put up a website, and it could be a shell website to get people's money. But the important thing is you're going to have the website. It's comprehensive. It's user friendly, and the most important thing is you deliver what your website or what your mission statement says, and then people will come back. I think once he has a really good list of clientele, and I think the website won't really be necessary to have it. But I think, like for me, going into once I get a certain amount of doors or properties with doors on them, I want to get into the property management phase too. So once I get into the property management phase, then more than likely, then I will like have a website. It won't just be like a phone number to call. It'll be a website, so you can see different services I'm offering.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing a lot of over here at the moment, because the reason why I've come across it is because my auntie passed away about a week or so ago, and I'm going up to her funeral on the 8th of February. So 8th of March, sorry. If it was 8th of February, it'll be a bit late. But no, I'm going up to Yorkshire, which is about 6 hours drive away. And I was looking at hotel prices, and hotels are really, really expensive at the moment. But lots of people are renting out properties on Airbnb. And is that something that you could be interested in, Rodney? Have you thought about buying a property and having a property for Airbnb?
Yeah. Specific to like vacation type time, like a Florida, the Carolinas and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm going to explore. Like if it has anything to do with real estate, I'm going to explore it. It's just I got certain things I want to do right now. So from there, that'll springboard me to the next thing. So it's definitely a step by step process. So Airbnb, there's also this. Now I don't know how lucrative it is right now, but during the height of the pandemic, a lot of like the traveling nurses and stuff like that, you get contracts. You would have them contracted out for like 6 months. So they're going to be in your area for 6 months to help the local hospital. It'd be like a nice flat rate, and they basically just would be going there to sleep. They won't even so in that situation, you're not worried about them damaging your property because they're just there to sleep. They're going to be putting on all kind of hours. Yeah. Local medical facilities. So I'm in all of it.
I did think of you today when I was looking it up. That's all. And it's just like, I feel that, in 2022, you have, when you've got a business where you're selling a product or providing a service, I think you have got to try to be a little bit unique and trying to go down a different route. And I was thinking with you as well there, Howard, perhaps you could have some affiliates selling some of your product. I mean, like the product that I get over here in the UK, you've got Huel, and they've set up hooligans. And I don't know if you know about that, but it's basically people that use Huel that put pictures up on Instagram and Facebook, and they hashtag it hooligans. And what it's basically doing is the more pictures and stuff that you put up, Huel will then give you some money back off their product. And it's basically a cheap way of advertising your product. If you had, 100, 200, 300 people being a Howard blend protein a gun or whatever you wanted to call it, and they're hashtagging it up, and they're at the gym and they're putting the doing the stuff that you do with your Howard's blend pouches and talking about it. It's free publicity, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's a great idea. And I did something similar to that, where I said, if anybody, I forgot what it was, I used some sort of website plugin for reviews. I said, if anybody left a review, whether it's positive or negative, just be honest, that I would give them, I think it was like 10, 15% off the product or something like that. But yeah, that's absolutely a good idea. And just saying it now, the ladies are all welcome to be in the affiliate program. All the ladies.
Always goes back to that.
And also, if you are somebody out there that would love to sponsor Howard's product, if you would like to give him £1 million or something like that towards the next project, I mean, now is your time to plug Howard. What would you like to say to that person? If there's a rich Russian out there that would like to put some money into your product and nobody else wants, they can't go down that route anywhere now, are you open for them to,
So they've been cut off from the international banking, but the Russians find their way to get money through Howard's blend. Oh, great.
Yeah.
It's in all seriousness, that was something I looked at with, like a venture capitalist, what they call it, whatever, venture capitalist. The thing is and this may be short-sighted on my end, I don't want to give up control of it. Usually when you ask, like, hey, can you want to support, whatever, or give however X amount of money, then they'll ask for a certain percentage of the company. And I don't, especially not now that I'm just beginning, I don't want to go right into the right up the starting block, whatever, and then already I've lost, 10, 15% of what it could potentially be. So I'd like to control 100%, which is why I was looking at, the money I've saved up, getting a loan from like a bank since I have a business account. I have, I could even potentially go to family and friends and then just get a little bit of money from each of them, borrow it, and then pay them back. Anything I can do to prevent from giving up some of the control of wherever the company's going. I
can see that. But say you jumped into bed with a gym, right? Not a gym as in a man, but a gym as in a gymnasium, right? And they took 15% of your business. But because you jumped on board with somebody, you actually sold 100% more stuff. Isn't that more benefit for you, surely?
Absolutely. And I guess never say never, I guess. I would have to look at the terms, whatever they wanted, and then see where we go from there. So yeah, I'm open to it. I'm open hearing what anybody has to offer.
Yeah. Yeah, so if there's anybody out there that could help Howard at all, because, marketing, you'll put your hands in the air there and admit 100% there, Howard, don't you? That marketing is a hard thing to get to fathom, isn't it? I'm exactly the same. It's a hard old thing to get your head around.
It is. I mean, from a supplement, I guess, consumer good standpoint, yeah, marketing is difficult because a lot of the products you were talking about what goes into a pre-workout. A lot of them are basically the same, just different. The ingredients, there's different ingredients, but there's a number of them that have caffeine in it. They'll put beta-alanine in it for like fatigue. It's just, and they'll put in the same or similar dosages. It's just different flavors, etc. So good marketing is needed in order to differentiate yourself. And I don't know jack about marketing. And I will be honest here and say that I really don't want to know a lot about marketing, but it's something I should know about. And that's where it's like, I'm kind of like, oh, I just don't like the marketing aspect of it, even though it is necessary.
Well, you think about it really. I mean, you go on about protein powders that the ingredients are near enough all the same in all of them, but isn't the ingredients the same in anything really? You know, if you buy a cake, it's the same ingredients. If you buy breakfast cereal, it's pretty much the same ingredients. If you buy a car, it's pretty much the same ingredients. The only difference is that how the different companies have niched down to a specific clientele, or they've taken it down a specific route, isn't it? You know, I mean, how could you make your brand? How could you niche it down? Which direction could you go in to make your brand different to everybody else? You know.
Well, to your first point, yes, you are correct that the ingredients are the same. I mean, like, what is it? Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah.
They're pretty much carbonated water, flavoring, coloring. They just have a different taste. And what is it? Starbucks. Coffee is coffee, but they've built an image around, like, you know, people feel good about walking around with the Starbucks cup. Or what is it? Apple. You know, nobody wants to cover up the little Apple. I saw somebody on YouTube, whatever, doing a speech that nobody wants to cover up the little Apple sign on the back of their computer. They want people to see that they're using Apple. But the only way I know now is from the first, I think it's from the first episode of our podcast, is just to market myself, in terms of, like, to differentiate myself. I mean, my goal is to make products that have efficacious dosages of the ingredients in it. I don't want to, in the industry, they call it pixie dust, where you just put a little bit of an ingredient in there, not enough to really, for anybody to get any results from it, but they can put, oh, we have X ingredient there. I want to put what has been shown in studies to be efficacious, of the dosages in there. But I also want to make it to where I don't want it to be, you know, $80 or something like that for a tub of the stuff. I want to make it affordable for people to use. So I guess that's a couple of avenues to be differentiating. But my focus now is on me, because nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
And literally, other than you guys, nobody knows who I am. Why would somebody want to buy a protein powder from me when they can buy it from, like, Optimum Nutrition? They make their gold standard protein. They're a large supplement company, and I like their stuff. They make good stuff. But why would somebody want to buy my product? Well, then the only thing I can think of is, okay, let me promote me, get people to know, like, and trust me, and then they will want to buy my product then.
And that's what's so difficult, isn't it? Because, you know, Rodney's got his properties and that he's working towards, and he's set his goals, and he's got his values, and the same with you. And it's getting, you know, it's setting up a business, it's building a business, and it's working out what route you're going to take it down, how you're going to get people to recognize you. You know, you're only a little minnow, you're only a little tiny fish in that big ocean. So how do you actually get yourself out there so people recognize you? And it's something that all of us are going to have to master. And I mean, as much as I hate to say it, I think it comes to a stage where you've actually got to get out your comfort zone, and you've actually got to go to a marketing company and say, right, what the fuck am I doing wrong here? How can I get people to recognize me? Because the thing is, it's all right people saying, oh, well, you've got to be on social media. Gary Vee says put 40 things up on social media a day. But, you know, when you're a dad, when you're at work, it's so hard, isn't it? And I know this is something that we've talked about time and time again. You've got to keep on showing up. But I will put my hands up and say I find it really, really hard to get up in the morning, put a post up on each platform, and then do it at lunchtime, then do it at break time, do it in the afternoon, do it. It's so freaking difficult. Have any of you two got any answers to this marketing?
No, I mean, I'm stuck. I don't really. I'm the same thing with the social media. Like, there's things where I know, like when I was doing the movement challenge, it's like sometimes I will forget to, you know, and it's simple that I have the phone in my hand. All I got to do is press, you know, record or just go live or whatever. But huffing and puffing, I get in the car, my mind's somewhere else. And then I'm on to the next thing. And it becomes Groundhog Day, where you're doing the same thing every day. Next thing you know, a week went by, no posts up. You haven't checked in. So I haven't figured out how to really properly market my YouTube page, the official 5 Deep. Like I'm here and there with it. And then there'll be like a 2 or 3 day period where I'm like on it. And so it may be necessary to like have somebody, if it's not hiring, have somebody that's willing to either coach you on the way to market or help you with your marketing.
Another way, I mean, is there any colleges or universities around your area that are there's people that study in marketing that would perhaps like to take you on as a project, Howard? Have you thought about that?
Absolutely. I've thought about that. There was a coffee shop that I knew of that these several guys who were in the IT industry, they started it, and I think they hired, I don't know if there was a graduate or they were still in the college, but they hired them to run their social media. So that's another option as well, because it's difficult. Because like I did the marketing, the Facebook marketing for the supplement, just to make ads on it. And, it's all artificial intelligence. So every time I put a post or make an ad, and I did it like 4 or 5 times, they would ban it, like immediately shut it down, saying it's unsafe substances. And I'm like, it's a protein powder. I mean, what's unsafe about it? And I would have to appeal it, and then you'd have to go through the whole rigmarole trying to get an actual person to look at it and not just do the automatic whatever they do, like a computer review of it where they just deny it again. And so it just got to be very, very cumbersome to do any type of ads on it. But your point on the social media, that's where I've gone back and forth on that, like either posting, trying to sign up for a whole bunch of different social media platforms and posting on all of them. But then it comes to, okay, well then if you're not doing it consistently, if I'm not posting on Instagram, that's my big main platform. If I'm not posting on Instagram consistently, then why even go to like 3 or 4 or 5 different platforms? If I'm not even consistent on one, what's the use of signing up for 5 or 6 of them then? So it's just, that's me now, and I've said it before a million times, just to be more consistent on the one platform, and then maybe once I've got that down, try to go to 2 or 3, similar to what Rodney was going through when he wanted to do the 6 days a week working out. The first thing I thought of is, well, if 6 days is difficult, well, then focus on just doing 4 days. And then once you get that down, then go to 5 days. So work on the consistency first, whether it be working out, social media posting, whatever, and then expand. But yeah, having somebody to do the social media for you, that would be a big help. Yeah, I can see that as well. It's a great suggestion.
Why do you struggle with consistency then, Howard? On like your social media, let's just say with your business at the moment, Howard's Brand, you're the reason why you're not as successful as you'd like to be, you've said, is due to your marketing, right? So why do you struggle with consistency in marketing on social media?
I think the very minor reason, it's not the main one, is just I don't enjoy learning about it. Now that I'll still push myself to do it, in spite of not enjoying it. I studied and learned about how to do the Facebook ads and everything like that, so, but let me think here. So it's something I brought up to the group maybe a few months ago, and I'm actually am doing a vlog on it where I use my GoPro camera to record it. And that is, for a time there, my priorities were not set. So I was working a lot, but not on the supplements. I was working on doing research for Howard's Blend, the podcast. And then I was trying to book a lot of people to do interviews with, which some of them I was kind of like, hey, I can't do the interview now. I got to hold it off because I got to work on what my priority was. So I was putting in all this work, but I wasn't, it wasn't where it should be, which is on promoting the product. Like what you said about the the protein pancakes. I think I mentioned that, and Harmony said it first, and I said, yeah, I need to do that. And that was months ago, and I never did it. I did an episode where I put the music and everything of me putting the different ingredients to make my protein drink. But there's so many different things I can do. I mean,
I feel a plug
this
coming.
right here.
All right, okay.
This right here is the research for the next episode of the podcast. Look at that. That's 7 pages of notes, and I've written stuff in there. These are if you can see it, these are the resources that I read through. It's not easy to make these podcasts where I'm going through research on a supplement and everything like that. And that was part of the reason, is I got so in depth in doing all this research that didn't really apply to making the pre-workout formula or anything like that, that I got off track. So I think more recently, that's what's been holding me back.
But I mean, the thing is a catch-22 thing, isn't it, really? Because if you showed up more on social media and if you did more podcasts, then people would hear you and more of your product, because you were saying that, you want to make yourself better known so that people know who you are and what your story is, so that they buy your protein powder. So if you was to show up on social media more consistent, and you've just lifted up a whole wad there of show notes. If you was to just highlight some important bits and put it up on a social media post, and do that each day, and then do an Instagram live each day, and do 5 separate posts, that's going to get you more attention, and it's going to get you more noticeability, and it's going to get more people knowing who you are to buy your product. It's not rocket science, but why is it that we feel it's a struggle to do? Is it the fact that, this is my point of view, is it the fact that, you'll spend 10, 15 minutes of your day doing a nice post, and you'll get about 3 or 4 views, and you think, I can't be fucked?
Well, for me, the lower number of views honestly has never bothered me, because I expect that to happen. Why would somebody want to follow me? I don't post really that often, so it doesn't bother me that it doesn't get a lot of likes on it and stuff. For me, it's and this is where I've been lax as a husband, and I've been lax as a business owner. And that is, I have not really sat down with the wife and told her, like, hey, this is what really needs to be done, in my opinion, to help move the ball forward. I mentioned before, she does not support me in what I do. And she said that. She doesn't support it. But it's still up to me as the husband to tell her, like, hey, this is what I need to do, in my opinion, to move forward. And who knows, maybe when she hears, like, okay, at least he's got a plan, maybe then she would be more open to it. Like, okay, let's give it a shot. Okay, I'll give you your space to do what you have to do. Because it's similar to what Lee said. She's, like you said, being a father, especially to a little 2-year-old, it's a lot of work. It doesn't seem like it, but it takes a lot of energy out of your day, because little Sam doesn't care that I have my 9-to-5 job to do if he's at home and I have to watch him if he can't go to daycare. He doesn't care that, I've got a podcast to make, or I've got social media posts. When he wants attention, he wants attention. So, they don't understand that yet, and it's not on him. And I'll just leave it at that.
Have you noticed that children get attention?
Because they demand it.
No. What I mean is, have you noticed that when you take Sammy out in his pushchair, he gets attention from the women?
Oh, yeah. I've actually offered my friends who are single, I said, hey, if you give me like $50 an hour, I'll let you take him out, and then I'll guarantee you'll get tons of numbers, dude.
Well, I was thinking it this way, Howard. How about if, when you're pushing him in his pushchair, right, if you was to get him a little Howard's Blend shaker, right, and he's feeding on his normal milk or whatever, but it's got Howard's Blend on, people will start asking the question. You could use him as a publicity thing there, look, and you're getting chicks asking, what's this Howard Blend? What's this stuff? It's a good bit of advertising there for you, mate.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down, because especially if the ladies ask, oh, what's this Howard Blend? I'll be like, I'm Howard Blend.
You only have to get
Right
some Howard Blend stickers made up and just put one on his bottle. So when he's out there, make it look as if he's got his own little protein shake when he's out in his buggy.
He's drinking some Howard's Blend. And
there you are.
He's drinking some Howard's Blend, and he's from Howard's Blend. That's in his DNA.
The thing is, though, I mean, we laugh and we jest, but it's little things like these that marketing agencies, promote and they use, and all these things, like the old Levi's adverts when the bloke took his jeans off in the laundrette, the laundry place, and he put it in. It's all these little things like that at the end of the day, it's not rocket science having a fit, good-looking bloke taking his jeans off and putting it in a washing machine. But Jesus Christ, the amount of attention that it gets, it's just discovering that thing for your brand, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, like if you think of like fitness products, they use fitness models. They don't use the average person. The person that's in the commercial is already fit. So showing them use your product, really for us, we know they didn't get that way from using the what's that thing that Chuck Norris uses?
The Total Gym.
Yeah, the Total Gym. You're not getting ripped from using Total Gym. So, but it's marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think another way direction you were going too is the marketing part of it for us. I think is a bit uncomfortable for us. Putting yourself out there, telling people about this product because you feel strong about it. You feel strong enough that you did all the research and everything, and you put hours upon hours upon hours into bringing this product forth. But in a sense, I know you don't necessarily care about the likes, but you do want the product to sell.
Yeah.
So like that is, you have to figure out that connection or what's not connecting. And this is for all of us, in our struggles. Where's that disconnect? Because what we want to do and what we envision is going to take you throwing all your chips on the table, you being out there, you might have to, you're probably not a boastful guy, but you might have to boast in an ad for your thing. I like the idea of, the showing a little twig and then throwing the Howard's Blend and then it turns into a tree. I like that whole campaign that you started. I think that will be something that you can go down and help you out.
Yeah. I think at times as a brand, we have to get out of our comfort zone and we have to get our product and give it to somebody and say, there you are, look, there's a freebie. Be honest. Tell me what you think. Does it taste good? Does it look good? Does the packaging look good? Do I look good as the face of the brand? And I think at times the businesses that are the successful ones are the people that pay the money to go to the people that know their shit. And because the thing is, I mean, look at it, your zone of excellence, your zone of genius. We're all good podcasters. We're all good at what we do, but that's what we're good at. That's our zone of excellence, right? But marketing isn't. So we're spending all that time, we're wasting that time on marketing that we don't really know what we're doing. If we was to go out there and pay somebody some money to promote 5 Deep or to coach us on how to market 5 Deep and Howard Blend and the Mark Jeffrey podcast show and Rodney, you with your real estate. If you was to pay somebody and say, look, there's my product. How can I promote this? I need your expertise to tell me. I think at times that's what makes you successful and stand out from the rest, because these people that you're paying, they know their shit.
Right.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, literally in that instance.
But the problem is it's getting out of that comfort zone, isn't it? I mean, it's having your baby, having your product and handing it to somebody and say, look, what do you think? You don't want that person to come back and say, well, to be honest with you, Howard, that's a pile of shit. It's no different to anybody else. It tastes like shit. It doesn't, but if somebody was to say that to you, that's like somebody looking at your baby in a pushchair and saying, God, your baby is ugly. You'd end up chinning them, wouldn't you? And that's what you don't want. But sometimes you need somebody to tell you that for you to improve.
Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. I don't want somebody to tell me like, oh, this is the worst product. I mean, I threw up, drinking and whatever it is, which is what happened with the people I interviewed from Australia, Seedling Nutrition, when they would try this is what prompted them to create their own powders, when they would drink the vegan powders and they would almost throw up. But I do tell people that I've given the product to, I said, be honest with me. I may not like what your answer is, but be honest. If you're going to tell me it's bad, tell me at least how I can improve it. Like, okay, is it too gritty? Do you not like the flavor, etc.? But yeah, you're right. It is like my little Sam. I'll put the little 1 pound bag in the stroller and push that around like my little baby. And so, you don't want to hear the bad thing, but you're right. The constructive criticism is great. You guys have given me constructive criticism on all types of endeavors that I've undertaken. So you're right. And on that note, I'm going to step away. I got to go pick up little Sam from the daycare, and I'll see if I can call in from my phone here. I think I got to sign back in and everything, but hopefully I'll see you guys in a little bit.
No worries. Well, it was going to be an early one anyway. I don't think there's that much to talk about in this episode. But Howard, great to see you on here again, man. You look after yourself, and he's gone. Oh, he's back. He's waving.
I'm still here. I'm listening as I'm gathering my things.
No worries. Well, you look after yourself, brother, and we'll see you next week. And keep on doing the amazing stuff you're doing. And March is going to be another fantastic month there. So I'll just round up with you there then, Rodney. Really, to be honest, my goal for March is, again, to carry on with the fitness, to lose some weight. That's, like you say, that's a necessity for me now, because I don't want to be the guy that I saw there yesterday. I went out for a meal with the missus yesterday in the family, and it was a very bizarre thing where I went to yesterday. And again, this place has got its own little niche, which makes it different. It was I went for a roast meal, a dinner, a Sunday lunch, and at this Sunday lunch there was a kids' pool, and the kids go in for a dip, for a swim, while the food's being cooked. And I've never heard of that before, right? Because whenever you take your family out, your kids are playing up and screaming and shouting all that lot. So what do? You give them some colouring pencils or something like that to occupy them, or you give them your phone. But this place had a swimming pool, and they were in the pool while the dinner was being made. And that way, because the kids are occupied, you don't mind having a drink and just chilling and doing stuff before you order the meal. Do you see where I'm coming from? And there's a lad there opposite me, and he's on the table. There's a whole family opposite me, and I'm listening to the guy talking, and he goes, I've been on a diet now for about a month. I haven't lost any fucking weight. He goes, and I don't understand it really, because I don't eat much. And he says, I do exercise. He goes, I just can't seem to lose weight. And I was chuckling, and I thought, right, I'm going to just listen in on this conversation, because I've just watched this dude. He's had 4 pints of lager in the space of the half an hour that I've been there, right? Later on down the line, he ate his roast dinner. He also ate the 2 roast potatoes that his son left. And then afterwards, they had a lime cheesecake that his missus didn't like, and he troughed that down. And he was obviously lying to himself, and I don't know where I'm going on this one, but what I'm trying to get at is that I want to make sure that I change my life so that I'm honest with myself and my fitness is important to me, rather than being this guy, that I've been in the past, which was like this guy opposite that says that he's really good, he's really healthy, and not see the shit that's going on really in front of him,
Yeah, well, they say you can't out exercise a bad diet. So, and that's the reason why, like, I like tracking food, even if I don't do it forever. I like to see what I'm eating, so I can reflect whether it's anything. If I'm feeling sluggish, if I got a bellyache, or if I'm tired, or I got a lot of energy, I can literally go back and look at what I ate. If I have a rough day with my stomach, and what did I eat today? What did I eat yesterday? I can go back and look. So part of it is seeing how I feel with certain foods and eliminating the foods that don't agree with me. And the other part of it is just to be honest with myself. Same thing, like when I started this real estate journey, one of the first things that the course I took talked about was how much it costs to be you. You know, you might not know exactly how much it costs, but you go and you take down all your expenses, your credit card, your mortgage, your car, your snacks. You have to figure that out first. And then that's where the honesty is. And then you can move forward. So that tracking of the food is being honest. He's obviously not being honest with himself. And, you know, even the days like when you said in the past, where you're like, oh, I put on a couple of pounds in the last couple of weeks, but you know,
yeah,
you ain't trying to fool yourself. You know, like, yeah, I was eating the you call them cookies, biscuits, right?
Biscuits, yeah.
Biscuits. I was eating ice cream, you know, those things you already know ahead of time. But maybe out in front of, you know, when he was in public, you know, his persona wouldn't allow him, his ego wouldn't allow him to be honest about, you know, his failings, instead of saying, yeah, you know, I'm failing miserably because I don't have control on my eating.
Yeah.
And what does he mean by exercising? You know, specifically, what are you doing? So, you know, I think that self-accountability is in what you're talking about. And, you know, we all on that journey.
Yep.
But physical fitness is something that eventually you're going to lose the ability to do certain things. So as we get older, or you get limited. So why not now, when we're relatively young, relatively fit, no health issues at this point in our life? Why are we not moving? Why are we not doing things to lengthen that time that we have?
Yeah.
You can optimum strength.
Well, that's it. And I mean, there's a lot of shit going on in the world at the moment. You know, the last 2 years has been plagued with coronavirus. Now there's the war going on with Ukraine and Russia, and that's getting really, really nasty. And every time in the last 2 years, I've turned on the internet and social media, and all I've seen is people, you know, moaning and worrying about COVID. And now people are worried about this next war. Is there going to be a nuclear war? Is it going to be the end of the world? And everybody again is filling themselves up with fear, and they're panicking, and they're saying, "Oh well, this." I mean, that was one of the things that this guy said yesterday. He was like, "Oh well, I'm not too bothered." He says, "I'll have another potato." He says, because we could all be dead tomorrow. We could all be blown up by Putin, and it's just like, we could be. And I said the same thing about COVID. But at the end of the day, you've got to look at yourself and say, right, I've got no control over COVID. I've got no control over Putin. There's nothing that I can physically do to stop Putin pressing that button. There's nothing that I can physically do to stop COVID killing me, right? So why be fearful of it? Why get stressed about it? But what I can do is I can look at myself, and I can exercise more. I can eat properly, because that in itself can kill me. I could die from a heart attack. I could get cancer from stress and from the crap that I'm putting in my body. That is something that I can control. So why worry about all of the shit in the world that I've got no control over? Look at myself and say, right, this I do have control over. Let's work on that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. You know, you want to lessen their stress, and a lot of those things, you know, I guess if you're going to be in a conversation, you want to have conversation for information purposes, or because you want to know what's going on. So you may pay attention, but I can't watch a lot of it on the news. I can't, I can't be around people that are always, you know, just looking to suck and not on purpose. Some people's personalities are they're just going to suck the energy out of you because they're always moaning about something. I can't be bothered to be around those type of things. So the things that I can do is going to speak life to myself and speak life into the people around me. I'll control that. And I don't mean control in a negative way, but I'll do what I can to impact that. And that's going to make me feel good. But number one, it has to be me. I have to, when I get off this call, I got to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep on pushing myself. In doing those things that are going to build me up and feed me nourish me, nourish my mind. It's also the stuff that I listen to, stuff that I watch. I got to get a hold on that because I tend to go to dark things and sad things and murder mysteries and stuff like that. And, at the end of the day, what you're putting in your body, in your mind, is actually, it does reflect on your mood and your attitude.
But where you're at the moment, Rodney, and where I'm at the moment is that you're noticing the days when you're putting the shit in the body, or you're not exercising, you'd rather stay home watching Netflix. You're noticing these things. And that's the thing that I think people have got to start doing, is getting out of their comfort zones and looking at themselves and asking themselves the questions, the whys and all that sort of stuff. And whether it be a business that you want to set up, if it's a thing that you've been talking about doing for a long, long time, if you're in a job that you hate, you got to start getting out of that comfort zone and making some plans and working out your future, the path ahead, and just chipping away at it little bit by bit by bit. Okay, you're going to lose 3 pounds in weight 1 week, and then the next week you might put 4 on. But it's so easy to sit back and say, oh, I've just put all that weight back on, I can't be asked. If you're going to succeed, the next week you need to say, right, okay, last week was a bit of a fuck up. Let's crack on, and then lose 4 pounds that week. And that's what I did last week. I put 3 pounds on last week, and it didn't bother me in the slightest, because this week I've come back, I've lost 3 pounds, and I'm the same weight as what I was 2 weeks ago. I haven't gained anything now. I'm the same weight. Now I'm pushing forward to knocking a little bit more off. And I think that's, you've got to look at that attitude in anything that you want to achieve in life. There are going to be times when everything is not going to fall to plan. If it was that easy to get the body that you want and to lose weight, everybody would have that body. Everybody would have that business. Everybody would have that Porsche 911. It's consistency. It's sticking with it. It's fighting for what you want. Nothing is easy, is it?
No, definitely not. And also too, gotta know that there's going to be so much pushback, whether it be people not believing in your vision, or it be, people not wanting to support it. Even the closest people to you. Howard talked about the wife not supporting what he's doing. You have to know that, but you're responsible. It's your vision. It's your baby. It's your project. So you're responsible for it. So don't expect people around you. As a matter of fact, expect people to push back a little bit on it. But knowing, okay, but my goal is this regardless. So I put on a couple of pounds, but my goal is to be fit. Like me, I joined the basketball league, went to the practice. I saw how much I was out of shape, and I know that I got to work out. I got my work ahead of me. I didn't just, at the end of it, I wasn't defeated. Like, man, I'm out of shape. I can't play with these young guys. I said, nah, you know what? I got work to do. Yeah. Now I got to back on and get it done. So, it's just about knowing that, there's going to be obstacles. And just like you said, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah. So, and that's where I'm coming from. My goal for March is to carry on losing weight. I want to get down to, I think the lightest I've been in years is about 14 stone 5. So I want to get down to that. That is my goal for February. But also, because I've been doing this sort of work and looking at myself and my fitness and my food, my podcast has suffered. I haven't in January and February, the Mark Jeffrey podcast show has done 2 episodes. Now, me, Rodney, I was going through a stage where I was bashing out month after month, week after week, an episode every single week. And now I'm at a stage now where I've only done 2 episodes in 2 months. And I will be honest with you, I've sat there and I've looked at myself and I've thought, I'm enjoying losing this weight. I'm enjoying the path that I'm going down on that. Have I really got the love for podcasting anymore? Have I lost the love for the Mark Jeffrey show? And I haven't. I really, really haven't. But I need to start looking at this now, and I need to be getting out of my comfort zone and doing a little bit more work and working towards that. The Mark Jeffrey podcast needs to have more episodes. Design for Life needs to carry on growing, and we've got 5 deep here. So, my goal for March, as well as my fitness, is to pump a load of time and energy back into my podcasting, because that's what I enjoy doing, and I want to get back to loving what I'm doing on that as much as I do, seeing the weight come off.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop that in my my goals as well. My upcoming goals these next few months is to take my podcast. The plan is to do it exclusively on YouTube, the live streaming, and do my interviews like that, provided that people are okay with doing the live streams, or I can do the interview and upload them as premieres. But that's what I need to be doing. That's what I said I'm going to be doing. I've created the page, and now it's time for me to do it.
Yeah. And like this episode, this is episode 5, and that's a good way to end this podcast. Actually, is I think we all as individuals need to work harder on this podcast. Promoting it and on social media and getting it out to the world. But it's life. You can't do it all of the time. And, this is something that we're going to have to do with this podcast, is we're going to have to ask ourselves, eventually, are we going to have to get something in to market it? Or, what direction are we wanting to go down? And, do we want to brand it, and do we want to monetize it and all that sort of stuff? This is all the things that we got to talk about. But at the moment, we're starting out, and it will improve. We've got some visions of StreamYard and stuff like that to go live and have you guys ask us questions. But if there's any of you out there that would like us to discuss a topic, get in contact with us. Drop Harmony an email. I think it's is it official 5 deep at do you know what the email is? This is Harmony's niche in the group, and she's not here at the moment. So go on, Rodney.
It's official5deep@gmail, and it's all words. So 5 is spelled out. So official5deep@gmail.com.
Yeah, and you can drop us a DM on Instagram. We're 5 Deep on Instagram, and just get in contact with us. Tell us what you'd like us to talk about. Tell us what you think of the first 5 episodes that we've done, how we can improve it. We're going to be having some a musical intro at the beginning coming soon, and the artwork might improve, but we're just basically getting this baby up and running. Last week we talked about starting out, first impressions. And, we're at that stage. We've decided as a group that we just want to get started, and we will see where it goes from there. So we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you think about our artwork, what you think about how the podcast is going, topics that we can talk about. So drop us an email, drop us a DM on Instagram, and just come and be our I don't know, fans, our hooligans. Come and support us. Tell us what you want on next. Have you got anything to say to that, Rodney, before we shut up the shop?
Nah, you tied a nice little bow on it.
It's been emotional, mate. Thank you very much for joining us. And, I look forward to speaking to you again through the week, and speaking to you again on next week's episode. I don't know, hopefully we'll have Lee and Harmony with us, and we'll have a good old yarn again.
Yes, sir.
Stay safe, man. Look after yourself, brother. Take care.